Welcome to VLSI lecture series. I, Professor Ritesh Dholakia, is going to explain you Dynamic CMOS in this video. And there are some advantages which is there with Dynamic CMOS over Static CMOS that we will discuss it later. Let me explain you the basic circuit structure which is there with Dynamic CMOS first. So in its circuit structure, first we have VDD supply over here. After that there is PMOS, which is gated clock PMOS. So here we give clock signal to this PMOS. After that there is pull down network, and this pull down network that is made up of NMOS. Let us say this is having some Boolean function which is having inputs, and those inputs are k number of inputs. After that there is another NMOS gated clock NMOS. So here we have NMOS, that is of gated clock NMOS, and in this we take output from this terminal and that we can connect it to any other digital circuit. And with that, if I say my load capacitance, that is CL, then this is what basic structure which is there with Dynamic CMOS. Now I'll explain you how circuit wise this Dynamic CMOS is better compared to Static CMOS. So if you observe Static CMOS structure, then in Static CMOS structure we were been having VDD supply. After that there was pull up network that is having PMOS. Let us say inputs are there and those inputs are k number of inputs. After that there was pull down network, and in pull down network we were been having NMOS, and again with this pull down network we have k number of inputs, and after that we have ground, and we were been taking output from this terminal. So that is how Static CMOS structure that we have seen. Now here let us compare these two structure with respect to number of transistors. So if you observe Dynamic CMOS, in that if you calculate total number of PMOS, then you see in this total 1 PMOS is there, and if you calculate total number of NMOS, then you see k number of input NMOS is there plus 1 clocked NMOS is there. So total k plus 1 number of NMOS are there, right? And as if you talk about Static CMOS number of transistors, in that case you see pull up network is there with PMOS. So as per k inputs, total PMOS are k, and pull down network is having NMOS, and as per k input NMOS are k. So number of transistors that is way greater in Static CMOS compared to Dynamic CMOS, that one can say. As well as here you see we avoid PMOS fabrication in its structure. So here less number of PMOS are there with Dynamic CMOS. So because of less number of PMOS in Dynamic CMOS, here total size as well as capacitive loading will be less, as well as you can find switching characteristic is faster in Dynamic CMOS. So that is what the basic case which is there with Dynamic CMOS. Now I'll explain you Dynamic CMOS inverter, and then we will see how Dynamic CMOS functions. So as we have seen the basic structure, here in Dynamic CMOS inverter we have VDD supply. After that PMOS gated clock that we need to have, so here we provide clock. After that pull down network is there, in that there is only one NMOS for inverter, so here we give input. After that we have gated clock NMOS over here, and then we connect this to ground and we take output from this terminal, and here we have load capacitance CL. So this is a basic circuit which we have for Dynamic CMOS inverter. Now as if we talk about its working, then to understand its working, first I'll explain you there are basically two modes in which this circuit functions. First mode, that is pre-charging mode, and second mode, that is evaluation mode. I'll explain you how these two modes are there. For that we will see timing diagram. So in timing diagram, here we will be having clock signal that we will observe with respect to time. After that, I'll show you timing diagram of input, that is even we will evaluate with respect to time. And then here we will observe our output with respect to time, and I'll explain you how these two modes are associated. Now see, here in this clock we will be giving clock signal. So clock signal will be like this. In that, this is what logic 0 of clock that one can say. This is logic 1 of clock, this is logic 0 of clock, and this is logic 1 of clock. And here we give input, that is logic high for this time period and logic low for this time period. Right. Now I'll explain you how this circuit functions in two different modes, pre-charging mode and evaluation mode. Now you see, let us consider first case where clock is equals to 0 and input is equals to 1. So now you see clock is equals to 0 and input is equals to 1. So this PMOS that will get on, and this PMOS that will get off, and this PMOS that will get on. But as this PMOS is off, this load capacitance that will charge via this PMOS like this. So this load capacitance that will get charged by voltage VDD, right? So here load capacitance that is getting charged to voltage VDD, and that is referred as pre-charging mode, right? And you see here why pre-charging is happening. So see, before we evaluate what is our output, first there will be pre-charging that happens, right? And here we don't evaluate what is our output, right? The reason is, even though if input is 0, this output that will get charged, right, to VDD. So here first output voltage that will get charged via PMOS like this. Now you see what will happen as if input is 1 and clock is equals to 1. So when input is 1, so at that time this NMOS that will get on, and this PMOS that will get off, and this NMOS that will get on. So whatever charge which is there in this CL, that will get discharged via this loop and it will get grounded over here, right? So your output that will start to discharge, right? And that discharging, that is depending on resultant resistance which is there with this circuit, and it will be having output which is logic 0 over here, right? So we can say output is logic 0 and input is logic 1. So this is working as inverter. Now you see, in third case our clock is equals to 0 and input is equals to 0. So when clock is equals to 0, this will get on and this will get off, and input is equals to 0, so this will be even off. So again this load capacitance that will get start to charge via this PMOS like this, right? So you will be observing your load capacitance that will get start to charge, so output will increase with respect to charging time constant which is associated with this PMOS, and it will acquire VDD voltage, right? And here you see again what we do, here we don't evaluate our output, right? Here we are just charging load capacitance. So here again pre-charging is happening, and now in fourth case we have clock that is equals to 1 and input is equals to 0. So when clock is equals to 1, this will get off and this will get on, and input is equals to 0, so this will get off. So as this is off, this load capacitance does not find a path to get discharged, so that will acquire its voltage VDD only, right, during this state. But here if you observe our output, is having that open circuit at input side over here, so it will stay in high impedance mode. So here you will be having output logic 1, but output logic 1 that is there along with high impedance mode. So output is there with high impedance. Why output is there with high impedance? The reason is this is there in open circuit. So this CL that does not find a path to get discharged, right? So it will be there in high impedance mode and logic 1. So here you see what we do. Here input is 0 and output is 1, and here input is 1, output is 0. So here we do evaluation. So basically pre-charging that happens when clock is equals to 0, and evaluation that is done when clock is equals to 1. So that is how dynamic CMOS is working. But here if you observe, there are some issues which is there with this circuit. See, issue number 1 is when output is logic high, at that time it is there in high impedance mode, and high impedance mode is more prone to noise immunity, right? So noise immunity that will be less in case of high impedance mode which is there at output side. So this is one issue which is there with dynamic CMOS. But if you observe, as per the basic discussion which we have done earlier, total number of PMOS that is less compared to this static CMOS circuit. Here only one PMOS is there, right? So that is one basic advantage which is there with dynamic CMOS. Now what I'll do is I'll explain you the basic advantages and disadvantages which is there with dynamic CMOS. So when we talk about advantages, then you see for one stage of dynamic CMOS, maximum output is VDD and minimum output is ground, right? So we can say VOH that is VDD and VOL that is 0. So it has maximum voltage swing at output side. Now if you observe its working, then in its working you find that in on and off state at output side you will be finding there is no steady state current. So steady state current that is 0 in output is equals to 0 as well as 1. Now if you observe in its structure, in that case you will be finding compared to static CMOS, number of PMOS are very less. It has only one PMOS, and because of it has only one PMOS, its switching speed is fast. And you will be finding as PMOS is larger in size and it has only one PMOS, so circuit size of dynamic CMOS that will be small. So these are the advantages which is there with dynamic CMOS. One more advantage that one can say, it has less capacitance loading compared to static CMOS. Now I'll discuss disadvantages which is there with dynamic CMOS. So when we talk about disadvantages, then in its working I have explained when you have output at logic 1, it is there in high impedance mode, which is more affected by noise. And if you observe its working, then here this dynamic CMOS that cannot work without having pre-charging. So pre-charging is compulsory to have a working of dynamic CMOS. Now there are some more issues that I'll be going to discuss in my future videos. Dynamic CMOS is having a problem of cascading. So that I'll explain you in my next video. It has a problem regarding cascading. And dynamic CMOS faces a problem of race. So that even I'll explain you in my future videos. So it has a race problem. So these are the disadvantages and advantages which is there with dynamic CMOS. I hope that you have understood this. This cascading issue and race problem that I'll be going to explain you in my next video. So just stay tuned with this channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do give your valuable suggestions. The reason is your suggestions matters to me, and based on that in future I'll be making videos which will be solving your queries. So please do give your valuable suggestions. Thank you so much.